Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be doing a maintenance session on the Trigon 190. We're going to be doing a glass clean, water change, probably about a 20-30% water change, not a massive one. This tank doesn't really require huge water changes anymore. The tank is doing really well. Very little algae. There are a few leaves that are just starting to die off a little bit on the anubius coffifolia. These are just older leaves though, so it's nothing too much to worry about. The new leaves are coming through really well. So we're going to get in there and prune some of those old leaves that are just decaying because they're taking a lot of the plant's energy at the moment. So what we need to make sure is that the plant obviously puts all of its energy into creating new leaves, new growth, rather than trying to repair those old damaged leaves. So we're going to be doing that as well. Probably give the rock a little bit of a wire brush just to freshen it up a little bit. If you're wondering at all, this is just a little bit of courgette because we've got a pleco in here. Courgette is absolutely fantastic for plecos. We feed lots of different stuff in the shop courgette now. But yeah, you'll probably agree with me, the tank is looking still really well. If you're new to the channel and you've not seen this aquarium before, I'll just give you a quick rundown of what we got in here. So this is a Juwel Trigon 190, it's 190 litres in total. It's got the internal filter system that is just in the very back of the aquarium, so it's nicely hidden. It's made up of predominantly sponge media, but then we've also enhanced the filtration on this aquarium by adding some biohome media for biological filtration, and then we've also added in some Countryside Aquatics C3 nitrate removal resin as well. That just helps keep the water crystal clear as well as keeping those nitrates down. Really great product, and we just have that placed underneath some filter floss at the top of the aquarium. The scape is really simple. We've got silver sand or silica sand on the bottom. There's no soil or any active substrate in this aquarium because we wanted a really nice but visually effective aquarium. Nice and simple to keep low-tech planted aquascape. We went for all epiphyte plants. So this really doesn't need any soil in there because, of course, epiphyte plants you either tie on or glue onto pieces of wood, or like what we have done on this, just wedge them into the crevices and nooks and crannies of the lava rock. The hardscape on this aquarium is lava rock, black lava rock, I've just said, and then also we've got a couple of pieces of azalea roots or redmore roots that we've placed together to create this really quite effective root coming out from the plants. Moving on to the plants, it's really straightforward. At the back of the aquarium here we've got lots of Java fern, just standard Java fern, and then we've got anubius coffifolia in the foreground, and then we've also got another type of anubius which we've never had before, called the gracilis. It's got a really interesting leaf shape, and so we're just starting to grow this out now, and the idea is to break that bunch up and we'll place it around. So you can see the new leaf is coming through really nicely, but there are a few leaves like you can see just here. There's a few holes in there. The leaf is just old, it's not looking so great, but that's going to be taking up a lot of the plant's energy trying to renew or repair that leaf. Whereas you can see at the top, the new leaves are coming through great. So what we need to do is just go in there, get rid of some of these leaves at the bottom of the plant, and that will help the plant to keep on growing new leaves. In here, fish-wise, we've got a few neon tetras. We did have a lot more, but we sold quite a few of them, just because one weekend we ran out of neon tetras, so customer wanted some neon tetras, so we decided to sell them out of here. So we will add some more neons in here just to get it a little bit more exciting. On the fish front, we've got a couple of Siamese algae eaters in here just for algae control. They're phenomenal at eating hair algae. And then we've also got a shoal of black line tetra in here as well. A clown pleco, some mono shrimps, which we virtually never see. But again, mono shrimps are fantastic for eating algae. And then we've also got some nerite snails as well, just for algae control also. There are some Corydorus julii in here as well. But as the plants have grown so well, we very rarely see them now. Okay, so that's enough of my babbling. We'll get onto the maintenance session now, and I will go through what we're doing. Okay, so we're recording. So first thing we're going to do is clean the glass. And to clean the glass, we're going to be using this Tunzi long algae magnet. So previously, what we've done with these kind of videos, I'll usually just set the camera to one side and then just film myself doing the maintenance. And then I usually just speed it up because I'm not talking. Whereas we've actually invested in a better mic to improve the audio. And we've got a gimbal now as well, just to make it a whole lot easier for us to actually have the camera situated where it is. Before, our setup was quite interesting, to say the least. So I thought, you know what, we've had a few questions and queries through Facebook Messenger, and people coming in and asking us what we've been using, what we've been doing, etc., in the past. So I thought, why not actually invest in a mic, and then I can talk you guys through it. And also it will give you a good representation of how long it takes for me to actually do this as well. All in all, I estimate about 20 minutes to get it all completely done. It shouldn't take too long at all. And even with an aquarium this size, when you've got when you get into a routine, it just becomes second nature, and it doesn't take too long. It doesn't have to take you hours at all to maintain your aquariums. Okay, so that's the front of the aquarium cleaned already. So now we're just taking the magnet off, and we're going to clean the side panels or back panels manually. Just to rid any of that algae off the panel. We always believe here that if you can keep as much of the algae off the back panel as possible, it always enhances the aquarium. Especially if you're using a black background. Okay, so that's almost both of those side panels cleaned. Just get into this corner here. And this corner here. Glass clean. Have a quick check, see if I've missed any bits. Usually I always do. Nope, we're looking pretty good that time. Okay, algae magnet away. So next we're going to grab our scissors and just take off any of the leaves off the anubius that aren't looking so great. These of course are going to be taking quite a lot of excess energy from the plant itself. So we remove any of these leaves just so then the plant can send as much of its nutrients and energy into making new leaves and keeping the plant growing and nice and healthy. So we take the leaves off first, and then I'll just cut down the stems a little bit, just so it's not so obvious. And you don't have to worry about taking off too many leaves at all, as it'll just promote new growth anyway. Okay, so this right hand plant's looking great. The middle plant's looking also pretty well. The gracilis, this is the gracilis. This is doing really well. And there's just one leaf, oh no, two leaves that I'm not quite happy with on this one. Okay, so the great thing about aquatic plants is when you chop the leaves, they'll always float up to the surface, so it makes it very easy to actually just take them out and remove them. There's a little bit of root and just a decaying leaf, Java leaf, just in the center here. So we just want to remove that as well. Apart from that, the Java fern's looking pretty well. Growing nicely. Leaves are looking nice and healthy, and it is starting to shoot off new leaves also, and new plants. So that is all of the plants sorted and pruned. Just dry the scissors off just to make sure that they don't rust in the future. So that is that done. We'll go ahead now and just grab all of these leaves out. Just to make sure that they don't block up the filter at all. If you have a dual filter aquarium or dual filter system, and you'll know exactly what I'm on about. They have a lot of vent. They have the vents at the top of the filter box, and that's predominantly the primary kind of way that the filtration takes the water into it. And so of course the leaves will all gather there and then start to block the flow, and that's no good for the aquarium whatsoever. Okay, I've just gone a little bit quiet there because I've just noticed a baby fish, which is really quite cool. I have absolutely no idea what type it is. I'm guessing it's probably a neon tetra. Either a neon tetra or a black line tetra. I'm really not sure what it is. No, we'll leave it in here. It's big enough that I'm happy that it'll be fine with the fish. That's a nice surprise. Yeah, it kind of does look like a live bearer. It looks like a guppy, but it really can't be because we've never had guppies in this aquarium before, ever. So, before I actually start doing this, another thing that you can do when you're siphoning water out from your aquarium, you simply do not have to anymore suck on the tube at all. It's not necessary. I showed this in the last video and it went down really well. Literally all you need to do is place half of your tube in, lift up, keeping this end up obviously, otherwise you'll end up with water all over the floor. Then place your thumb over this end, place the tube inside the aquarium again, and then you're going to lower this end with your thumb over into your bucket and release. And then this will start to hopefully siphon water out from your aquarium. Just like that, voila, nice and simple. So all we're going to do now is just go down and siphon any bits of debris out that's on the sandbed. And we're also just going to waft the leaves of the plants just to kick up any debris at all. So then we can siphon as much of the debris out as possible, or if not, the pump will take it out. And we'll turn the pump off now. Always remember to turn off your pump and your heater. If you forget to do that, of course, you're going to expose them to air, and the heater will more than likely stick on, and unfortunately then when you refill your aquarium up with fresh water, it will shatter the glass because the glass of the heater will be incredibly hot. And same goes with the pump. Well, the pump won't shatter, of course, but what will happen is the impeller will still be whizzing round. That'll generate a lot of heat, and then unfortunately most of the time the magnet actually kind of explodes and jams in the pump and then renders the pump useless, so then you have to buy a new pump, which is not ideal. So again, plunge in the pipe, thumb over the pipe, and then just release. And typically, just for the camera, it didn't do it that time. Let's try again. There we go. So yeah, we're just going to take a few buckets of water out of this. Sometimes we would do 40–50% water changes, just to give it a really nice good freshen up, but this week it really doesn't need it. The tank's doing really well. It's relatively low stocked with fish. There's not too much debris in the actual aquarium itself, so it's just nice to give a water change just to freshen things up a little bit. So each one of these buckets holds about roughly 10 to 12 litres, so we're taking out roughly about 36 litres of aquarium water here, which equates to about 15% water change today. Okay, so that's all three of the buckets filled. Just empty out the tube. And then all we're going to do now is quickly just take out the top filter floss layer from the filtration, as that will definitely need changing. And so we'll just take that out and we just discard that. We'll just throw that away. Okay, everything else will be fine for this week. And we'll just move these buckets out of the way and get some fresh filter floss. Filling up this aquarium couldn't be easier. We've got a really quite large 2,000 litre container in quarantine, and so all we do is have that filled all the time, have that dechlorinated, and let it warm up to temperature. And so we can just turn this pump on now and allow this aquarium to fill up. There we go, hopefully we should have water coming in. Yep. It just saves us having to lift buckets. And then this is the new filter floss. We'll just place that into the filter. Filter floss works extremely well in filtration. It's so fine, it captures any of the fine particles from the water, and it really does help to polish the water and get your water crystal clear. And then, as I say, the C3 nitrate removal resin, but also clarity, water clarity resin, it really helps to get that gin clear look to your water. That's the filter floss in. The rest of the filtration is fine for this week. We usually take out all of the sponges every 2 to 3 weeks. Give them a good squeeze in the buckets that of the water that we've just removed, to obviously free up any debris, any detritus from them, and then we place them back in. But yeah, like I say, this week we don't need to do that. Filter floss is changed. Glass has been cleaned. We've pruned any of the leaves that just needed to be taken off. And obviously we've drained out about 15% of the water, and now we're just refilling. So I'm going to go ahead and just get the lid prepped now. So that's just the back piece back on, and then the front piece. And we'll just allow this aquarium to fill up now. Whilst it's doing so, we'll just go over the front panel of glass. Well, in fact, actually, we'll go over every single panel of glass with a towel, just to buffer it up, just to rid of any of those watermarks and those smudge marks, because that can really make your aquarium look very cloudy or hazy. So you really want to make sure you just clean that off as best as possible. Okay, so that's the front panel done. I'll go around and just do the side panels now. Currently, we're on about 18 minutes into this maintenance session. So like I say, I'm not too far off with the 20 minutes. We do this every single week, once a week. Now the fish might dart around here, but don't worry about that. It's just because they're in the Java fern at the back and they're just not expecting me. But we'll just take our time when cleaning the glass. Okay, perfect, just like that. That's both of the side panels or back panels cleaned. And now just to wait for the aquarium to fill up. So I'll take you in just for a closer look. So there we go, you can see there's just new growth and only good leaves on the anubius and the Java fern now. That will just help to keep the plant nice and healthy and promote new growth. The fish always love a good water change as well. I always find that the colours always seem to enhance slightly when we're putting in the fresh water. So that's pretty much everything to it. Just be about another 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe, filling up this aquarium, but I'm going to end this video now because you don't need to see the aquarium completely filled up. You get a real good idea of what the aquarium now looks like, and we'll get this filtration back up and running as soon as the aquarium's filled up. You can see particles in the water. That's completely normal and natural. You always expect the water to go a little bit cloudy and a little bit some detritus to be floating around in the water column. It's completely normal and natural, but the filtration will soon take care of that overnight. That fresh piece of filter floss as well will just completely make that water completely crystal clear overnight. So in the morning when we come in, this tank will be looking on form and it'll be looking fantastic. As always, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell notification button. That will just notify you every time we do a new upload. We are going to be doing more maintenance videos in the very near future, and just to try and crank out a few different videos of the shop as well. The videos do seem to be well received. You guys are being really kind with the comments that you're putting on the videos, so we're going to try and do a few different videos just to try and mix up the content. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.